Hello and welcome to Kettle and Bones, where we make really delicious, really healthy food. And you can too. We're going to stimulate your imagination today. We're going to make you flex your brain. We're challenging preconceived notions. We're shattering paradigms. We're knocking down walls, shimmying under fences, clambering awkwardly over low barriers. And our pioneering spirit will be rewarded with an awesomely amazing side item that is loaded with nutrition. Today, we're making Coolslaw. Let's get cooking. So what is it that makes Coolslaw cool? Well, at least one cool aspect of it is the veggies we'll be using. We'll start with some beautiful green stalks of fresh celery, some assorted colors of carrots, and a nice big chunk of Daikon radish. If you're used to coleslaw, then by comparison the Coolslaw we're making today is going to be bursting with some very interesting and slightly unconventional flavors. Let's start with the celery. We're going to chop this into fairly thin little crescents. A veggie slaw is one of those dishes where the size and shape of the individual pieces matters, maybe a little more than most other recipes. It's a simple dish made from relatively few ingredients, so the texture and mouthfeel of each bite is something we should be considering as we go. On that note, I'm going to use a box grater to shred the Daikon radish. I like Daikon radish for this because it's a fairly light-tasting radish with a nice texture. It's mildly peppery but not overwhelmingly spicy. It also has a high water content, actually a little too high to just toss in the bowl as is. So using a cheesecloth or just wrap it in a clean towel, let's head over to the sink and squeeze out some of this moisture. If we didn't do this, just look at all that radish juice that would have ended up sloshing around in our slaw otherwise. This is much better. Let's also shred the carrots so that they end up distributed throughout our finished dish in little bits, adding some great flavor and color. Speaking of flavor and color, next I'm going to thinly slice some red onion, like the celery, leaving them in longish crescent-shaped pieces. We'll get some bright, fresh onion flavor and a beautiful deep purple color. Next up, a little rich saltiness from some black olives. This might seem like kind of a strange addition to this slaw, but it works. You're just gonna have to trust me. Next, no surprise here I'm sure, we're finely grating some fresh garlic for that unmistakable flavor that only fresh garlic can bring. All right, we've got a fantastic chopped veggie base here, so now it's time to get a little weird. Just a little. We're going to add crab stick. Let's chop that into chunks. And I'm also going to just break a few of these apart so that when we mix this into our slaw, we have both bite-sized pieces and little strands that blend in with the shreds of carrot and radish. Again, a key factor in a good slaw is texture. If you can't get good quality crab stick or you don't care for it, little tiny cocktail shrimp are a really good alternative. If you use those, just make sure you defrost them fully and pat them dry thoroughly. Just like the Daikon radish, we don't want any ingredients bringing in excess moisture that will make our slaw soupy. We now have a delicious, nutritious base for our slaw, so let's set this bowl aside in the fridge for now and turn our thoughts to dressing. I'm a big fan of mayonnaise-based slaw, so, you guessed it, as we've done many times before, we're going to start with 2 egg yolks, and you can save the egg whites in the fridge for making meringue drops and other treats. And using a high-quality, flavor-neutral oil like grapeseed, sunflower, avocado, I'm using avocado oil today, we're going to create a basic mayonnaise by slowly streaming in tiny amounts at first as we whisk vigorously using a hand mixer, stand mixer, or if you're really hardcore, just a whisk and some good old-fashioned elbow grease. As soon as it starts to approach the thickness of mayonnaise, we're going to add a splash of vinegar. Since our slaw ingredients are skewing toward a slightly Asian flavor palette, I'm using rice vinegar. The vinegar lightens and thins our mixture so we can stream in some more oil. We'll keep going until we have a sufficient amount of mayo to dress our slaw. If you already have a mayonnaise in your fridge that's made from good quality healthy oil, you can of course use that, but making it from scratch is always so good. Next, I'm adding both the zest and the juice of half a lemon. Let's mix those in. And just like the vinegar, this has thinned things out a bit, so we'll thicken it back up by streaming in some more avocado oil. If you're making this using a pre-made mayo, then just add as much as you need to achieve the desired thickness. I mentioned earlier, we're kind of headed in an Asian direction in terms of flavor, so let's go with that. I'm going to finish the mayo portion of our dressing with just a little sesame oil. That brings this wonderful, distinctive, dark, smoky flavor. Let's grate in some fresh ginger. And a typical mayonnaise would call for Dijon mustard. For our Asian-inspired dressing, let's use a chili paste instead. I'm using gochujang, that's a Korean chili paste. Sriracha, the Vietnamese chili sauce, would also be a good alternative. Many chili pastes and sauces do contain a few grams of sugars, so try to keep it to just a few tablespoons. I'm also going to add in a few cloves of roasted garlic. I made some quick and easy roasted garlic earlier today. You can check out how that's done in Series 1, Episode 11. It's super easy. We've already got fresh garlic grated into our slaw. This will provide that mellow, mildly sweet, unmistakable flavor that only roasted garlic can bring. Let's add a splash of fish sauce for umami, some onion powder, and some tarragon. We've got crab stick in our slaw today, and I love tarragon with seafood. After one last vigorous mixing, this is done. Just make sure you taste and adjust the balance to your preference with additional lemon, salt, fish sauce, chili paste if needed. This is right on the money though. Perfect. So let's bring our slaw mix back out, and bit by bit, let's incorporate it into our dressing. In a simple yet elegant serving dish, let's add a hefty portion of our slaw. And I really like roasted sesame seeds as a topping for this kind of, well, technically it's a salad. Another great crunchy topping for a dish like this is crispy fried onions, as long as you can find a version that is just fried in a healthy oil, not breaded and fried. The fried onions just add some more texture and a depth of flavor that I really enjoy. Have you figured out yet what makes Coolslaw so cool? No? Well, here's the fun food fact of the day. Coleslaw actually comes from the Dutch words kool, meaning cabbage, and slaw, meaning salad. Makes sense. In American English, that later became pronounced coleslaw. But without any cabbage in this, we can't very well call it coleslaw now, can we? So we just changed the cole back to cool, but with a C this time, and we have a groovy little side salad that goes great next to all kinds of main entrees, and really is a meal unto itself. I mean, we've got it all here. Beautiful raw veggies, absolutely loaded with vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein from fish and egg, healthy fats from our healthy oils, raw and roasted seasonings painting a spectrum of delicious flavors, and a rich, creamy dressing that's the perfect balance of tangy, savory, sweet, and a little bit of spicy. Pretty cool, right? Stay with Kettle and Bones for many, many more delicious, healthy meal ideas. We have some highly tasty entree recipes coming soon that this would be excellent with. But for now, just enjoy your Coolslaw.